Tēnā koutou, nau mai, haere mai. Hello everyone, welcome to the Walking the Shadowlands podcast. Let me be your guide as we take a walk into the realms of the unexplained, of the paranormal, of things that go bump in the night and haunt your dreams.
Your hosts?
I'm Marianne. Thanks so much for joining me today, tonight, whatever time it is, wherever you're living in this beautiful world of ours. Sit back, relax. Let me be your guide as we walk into the Shadowlands together and see what awaits us there. Kia ora, hi everyone. I just wanted to let everyone know what's happening with myself and with the podcast. For those of you who follow the Walking the Shadowlands podcast and perhaps my Facebook group of the same name, know that I had an accident last year and broke my arm in 2 places. What you may not be aware of is that I've had ongoing health issues not related to the accident since then. And it's been an absolute struggle for me to produce and get these episodes out to you in a timely manner. Whilst I've had time between seasons, I really haven't had a proper break because I was always hunting down new guests, interviewing, editing the interviews, creating and posting social media, editing and transcribing the episodes, and keeping the Walking the Shadowlands podcast website updated, which is, by the way, www.walkingtheshadowlands.com. It's a tremendous amount of work for just me, but it's something that I absolutely love and get a lot of pleasure out of doing. Not to mention all the wonderful people I've talked to as guests and have learned so much from, or I just simply enjoyed talking with them for one reason or another. It's been a journey that I've totally loved. So it's been a very, very hard decision for me to tell you all that due to ongoing health issues, I'm going to have to take a break from the podcast for a period of months, at least 4 to 6 months, maybe a little bit longer, or perhaps shorter, depending on how I'm doing, and also if something really significant happens in the meantime that I feel absolutely needs to be put out for you all to hear. With the exception of one interview coming up in a couple of days that I've had booked for some time, and I'll talk about him in a minute. I'm not doing any more interviews or even looking for guests during this break period, but if you all know of any people you think would be a great guest when I do come back, please don't hesitate to let me know and I'll follow that up when I start back. I also won't be doing social media. No social media. I'm taking a complete break. I need to take care of my health and myself first and foremost so I can come back stronger and with my old energies back again. I'm really, really looking forward to that time. In the meantime, I'm talking with one of our favourite guests whose first episode has been in the top 10 most listened to episodes ever since it was first released. I'm talking about one of my favourite guests, Paul Wallace, author of Escaping from Eden and The Scars of Eden. He's back to talk with me in a couple of days about his recently published 3rd book in this series called Echoes of Eden, and honestly, I can't wait to hear what he has to say having read this latest book of his. It's going to be another interesting conversation. Paul is always so engaging and I find him fascinating to listen to. Just so you all know, here's what I'm planning on doing, and I've given this a lot of thought as the Walking the Shadowlands podcast has over 107 episodes published over 9 seasons. I'm sure that many of you all, especially if you're new listeners to the show, may not have heard of all these episodes. There are a lot to go through. Because I'm talking with Paul again in a couple of days, I feel it's a good idea to play his first 2 episodes again before I play the upcoming conversation. That way, if you've not heard them before, you'll fully understand where he's coming from. Even if you have, they're great conversations and come from a really interesting perspective, and they're still interesting to listen to, even if you've already heard them. Paul's a very engaging speaker and author. I'll play these 2 episodes over the next 2 weeks, starting from next week. Then I'll play his new one at the regular 2 weekly intervals. So I'll play his first 2 each week, then 2 weeks later I'll play his new one. Following Paul's new episode, and at the regular show spacing of 2 weeks, I'm going to play the episodes that people have found to be the most scary and difficult to listen to without all the lights on. I'll also play my most favourite guests for one reason or another. Most of them are paranormal based or fall into the realms of the fairy folk, and I've thoroughly enjoyed these guests. Some because of their sense of humour, and we've just had really interesting conversations. I'll also reuse old social media posts for these episodes, so I'm not doing any new work to promote them. I'll just have these all lined up, ready to publish on the Anchor and social media websites, so it's no extra work for me. Once I've loaded them, they're all good to go. They'll probably take up a whole season of episodes. Then I'll just break completely until I return to interviewing and creating new content for you all to listen to. Honestly, I'm really sorry to do this to you all. The other option was stopping the podcast altogether, and really, that's not an option for me at this point in time. I'll keep you all informed on what's happening with our podcast. Also, I won't be adding anything additional to these episodes I'm replaying. They'll air just as they first did. Sound mistakes and all, because some of them are from my first season, and I've learned a bit over the past 9 seasons about sound. But before I end for now, I want you all to know how much I love and appreciate you all, and what a pleasure it's been for me to create these episodes for you all to listen to. This isn't farewell, merely, as we say here in New Zealand, ka kite. I'll see you later. Thanks for listening, ka kite. I'll see you again.